Hey guys, Brian here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about all kinds of rock that you can put in your reef tank and you're going to figure out what kind is best for you. Alright guys, so first we're going to be talking about dry rock, and this rock goes hand in hand as well with man-made rock. So we'll just talk about this. The rock that I have here in this bin is from Arc Reef, or Addictive Reef Keeping. It is rock that's mined out of Florida, aka Florida rock, and it's made from old reefs that used to inhabit the earth but no longer as they receded. So there are other companies out there that also provide this type of rock. But moving on to our man-made rock, this is rock that is not harvested from the ocean. It's actually made from usually a mixture of aragonite sand or crushed aragonite rock, along with a mixture of cement. So both of these methods of using dry rock or man-made rock, their whole goal is to reduce the amount of rock being taken from the ocean and therefore preserving our reefs and letting them build as they grow, because they are already diminishing enough as it is. So they really do have a good intention with selling us dry rock or this man-made rock. Just going over a few companies that do provide these man-made rocks. As you've seen in the last video, Art Reef Rock makes really nice sculptures that are ready to go straight from the box. Then you also have Real Reef Rock, Carib Sea Life Rock, and Marco Rock. So all these companies, they make their own rock and they all have a nice touch to their products as well. So some big key factors as to why you would want to choose dry rock or this man-made rock is because you are lessening the chance of bringing in a really bad pest, aka a hitchhiker from, say, if you got live rock. We'll go into that here in a minute, but with dry rock, I do recommend that you cure it or cycle it. What is that? That basically means that you are running it in a separate container, such as a Brute trash can or a big Rubbermaid tote, with salt water in there and also bacteria and a good strong pump to keep the water circulating. This here will cure your dry rock to the point where it will become live rock. So what I like to do is cycle it in a separate container for a few months and get the water as nasty as possible, because what you're doing here is getting the bacteria population ready to actually perform in a reef tank so that your nutrients can be kept under control and you have really nice water clarity, really good parameters. You're basically setting yourself up for success in the long run. Alright guys, now let's talk about our live rock. So this live rock is coming straight from the ocean. It's harvested straight from the reefs, but there are some places out there that will place this dry rock that we were just talking about into the ocean, and then they'll wait a few months or more and then come back and harvest that. So that way they are not taking from the reefs in the ocean, which is also a big plus. So live rock from the ocean has some really good benefits as far as the bacteria on them. They have so many cultures of bacteria on the rock that basically your tank will cycle really fast because of having so many different strains of bacteria, which is what you want in your reef tank. The more bacteria strains, the better, because each bacteria has a different purpose and a role that they create within our reef tanks. Also, you can get some good hitchhikers coming off of the rock, especially if it's coming from the ocean. You never know what you're gonna get because it's so full of life. But there's also a downfall, because you can get really bad hitchhikers as well that can just create such a nuisance in your brand new reef tank that you're trying to set up and cycle, and it ends up turning into more of like a pain to just try and get these bad hitchhikers out. Some of these hitchhikers do include aptasia, and these type of anemones, they spread fast and they can take over a tank really fast. There's also some type of sponges that can take over a tank as well, especially in the beginning stages where there's a lot of silicates and nutrients going on. They can thrive and then take over the tank completely, or the rock. Now there's also bad crabs such as gorilla crabs, and they will wreak havoc on your reef, and they will eat anything that they can get their claws on, to include small fish, even coral, and your favorite invert. So get these out as soon as you see them. They are bad. So you just want to make sure that if you do happen to get live rock that's from the ocean, inspect it thoroughly and keep an eye on it for at least a few months to see if you can find anything pop up that you might not want. Which is why a lot of people do like to start with this dry rock, because you're alleviating all these chances of getting a bad hitchhiker, and therefore you'll have a better experience with your first, second, third reef tank. Well guys, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you're new, think about hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on those bell notifications so that you know when I upload, especially if you learned a little something in this video. I would also like to know your opinion. What do you think the type of rock that you're going to use on your next build? Are you going to use live rock, or are you going to use dry rock? So I've done the live rock. This is my personal experience, and some of the examples that I used in this video, I've actually ran into those issues. So now what I like to do is stick to dry rock and cure it, but I have also done it the non-cure way, and so many nasty and ugly stages happened in the reef tank, and I was not happy with it. So from now on, we are cycling the rock first, which you saw, getting it nasty, and then we will build that for our scape in future builds. I've also put in that art reef rock to get it nice and colonized. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and just reef.